What's up, Joseph?
What's up there, Charles?
What's going on? How's everything going?
Fantastic.
Yeah, wow, that sounds...
I feel like you today, drinking this Monster cold brew.
There you go.
Nitro-infused coffee.
That'll wake you.
Sweet black.
That's yeah, sweet black.
Working. I look like a maniac today, bro. I need a fucking haircut.
Yeah, we both do.
How was your week?
Wasn't that bad, man. I went to more meetings than I normally do for some reason. Yesterday I went to 2 meetings.
Yeah.
They're both very good.
Good.
Both
the God
very
shots just keep coming, right?
Oh yeah, shut up. Yeah, a lot of coincidences, but yeah,
There are no coincidences.
I know there's no coincidences. Yeah, but it was pretty cool. I'm trying to think what else went on. Just running around again. A lot of interviews. Got a job starting Monday.
Nice.
So finally, something new, some new career, starting over again. But that's okay. Life's got to change. Got to make changes to move forward in your recovery, I guess, right? Trying to think of what else is going on for me. Nothing really. What about yourself?
Same old. Yeah. Kicking it one day at a time.
So we were gonna have a guest on today. He's gonna be on next week. And he's an NA guy, right?
NA, yeah.
So
it'd be good to get NA for
we'll get his perspective. So unfortunately we just couldn't connect today. That's all. Not a big deal. We'll figure it out as we always do.
What do you got for us today?
So I was figuring we'll talk about coping mechanisms as far as with recovery when you're managing challenging experiences during your recovery, such as emotions, feelings. Mm-hmm. Everyone copes different ways for things that are bothering them. So I don't know. Let's open the floor and figure this out and start chit-chatting about it. What do you got?
Joey Alcoholic.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Joey.
Coping mechanisms. That's a big one. I cope differently today. I think due to the foundation that I've built for myself, it's easier for me to cope with shit. That doesn't mean I still deal with, certain character defects like fucking overthinking.
That's one of my biggest problems. Yeah, I do that a lot.
Bro. And I always overthink the worst because I don't know. Just because how we've been living so long, we expect the worst outcome, and it's, what's crazy is it never really works out the way we think it's gonna work out.
No, I mean, I find I always think exactly what you just said. I always think the worst of a situation or overthink a situation in the worst way possible. Yeah. Is it because what I was doing was the worst? I don't know.
I think it was just how you were living. I mean, for me, it was how I was living, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I think I was doing things that weren't right towards myself, other people. Yeah. And then you just assume everyone's a fucking dirtbag like you are in your own mind. Yeah. Where, all right, well, now they're, they must be doing this when they're probably not. No. My biggest thing is my mouth. I like to run it quickly, hard, go after you.
Unfiltered.
Yes, I'm very unfiltered. I say things when I shouldn't. I would react. I got a pretty decent example this week. So I had an argument with somebody. An argument, I guess. Yeah. I've been arguing with someone over something, and I'm being told things that I am and what I do, which are 100% wrong. Yeah. And my normal reaction would be like, "Fuck you. That's not me. How about you and your defects and this?" Yeah. Call them out on their problems or their situation. And basically I just sat back and not really reacted because it's like, now I look at things differently where it doesn't warrant a reaction. Like, you know what? I'm not doing that. So why the fuck am I going to defend myself to the point where you think I'm doing something? So I'm coping with things differently. I try not to be argumentative as much. Again, it doesn't happen every time. I was in a group discussion this weekend. It was the same thing, like triggers. Like, a gentleman was speaking about straw broke camel's back at work, and he was doing work on something that he thought was the right thing to do. He's worked there a long time. Yeah. And his boss was like, "What are you doing?" Like, and now, mind you, it's the owner of the company. And he's like, "Well, I need to do this to fix this situation." Yeah. And the boss like, "Well, I don't want you doing that." Yeah. And he flipped out. Fuck you! What the fuck? Blah blah blah. Yeah. And the boss was like, "Pack your shit, get the fuck out." And he went to got his tools, whatnot, and walked out to his truck, and he went back in, and he was like, "Hey, I apologize. I don't know why I snapped at you. You are the boss, and if you don't want me doing this, I won't." Yeah. So he realized.
Did he take it back?
What he did? Yeah, he did. Oh, so the guy's good. He's but it's just like one of those things. Like you react so.
I think it's also having expectations on things. Thinking certain things are gonna go one way and shit like that.
And you're not always right.
No, and it's a snowball effect too. You know what I mean?
No, I agree. And then what happens is something ticks you. Again, you don't have control over someone else. No. Right?
Well, and that's actually, you just brought that up. I have this chart here I want to read.
Yeah, please.
So it's talking about your own control. In my control I have my thoughts and actions, what I give my energy to, how I speak to myself, the goals I set, how I spend my free time, how I handle challenges, and my boundaries. Things that are out of my control, the actions of others, the outcome of my efforts, the future, the past, the opinions of others, how others take care of themselves, what other people think of me, and what happens around me.
Right.
And that, dude, that makes a lot of sense too, because I think, like, for addicts and alcoholics, I think a core issue for me is lack of self-worth. Self-esteem issues, shit like that.
You worry about what others think of you?
I still do. I'm getting better at it. Because I've looked at myself like such a piece of shit for so long, bro. If you think, like, I guess, snowball effect a little bit, like, thinking of yourself in a negative manner for so long, you believe that shit after a while.
Yeah. No,
you know what I mean?
I agree with that.
You agree?
I just, it's funny, like, like a stupid example, let's just use this. Like, if I'm walking into a room full of people, everyone's talking. Yeah. And then everyone shuts the fuck up when I walk in. Now, when I was a drunk, I'd fly off the handle. Like, what the fuck? Obviously, something just happened. They're all like, wow, Now I don't.
We're not that special.
You're right. Now I look at it like I don't care. Yeah. Like, it's just not you. I look at life now. I know who I am today, and believe me,
that's good because I'm still learning.
Believe me, I know who I was in the past. So if you know me from my past, if you were with me over the last 30 years, and that's what's weird is most of my friends are not those people now.
Yes.
So now it's all people I've known for the last year or whatever it is. You know what I mean? So. You look at things a little bit differently because those people don't have that mindset of you from the past. So I don't have that, like you said, like self-deprecating thoughts or anything because these people would never think I'm that guy because they don't know me as that person. Yeah. So that's what I try to always instill in my head all the time. I have a friend of mine who's... as you know his name, Corey, I can say his name, right? Corey, just his first name. So my friend Corey, I used to drink and party with constantly, and as you met him, he's been in the rooms with us. Yeah. It's refreshing to hang out with someone that does know me from then, but still doesn't judge me anymore, because he's in the same position as me. Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say the same, but he's trying to do the same thing as I'm doing, staying in recovery, which he has a lot of time too. So, which is great. It was great. I'm very happy. I actually mentioned this to him yesterday. It's refreshing a little bit to have an old friend that knows me from my past and see my development today.
Well, they see the growth. They see the change.
Right. Yeah. Whereas the other guys, as John stated yesterday in a meeting that I was at, was like, he was showing us his phone, and what he does with anyone that he knows from the rooms or whatnot, it's your name and it says AA next to it.
Yeah, that's on my phone too.
So he's got a list. He was showing me a list, hundreds of names in his phone. And he mentioned yesterday, he's like, besides these, everyone with an AA I hear from. The guy that used to hang out at the bar, I never hear from that guy. No. He hasn't called me to see how I'm doing. Well, that goes because I'm not there anymore.
Yeah, and that also goes back to, like, we hung around people who were doing the same bullshit that we were doing. They weren't real friends. We were just acquaintances. Right. Drinking buddies. Like, we're not hanging out unless we're drinking or drugging.
And now all of a sudden, you're not your friend.
Exactly. Because what other purpose do I have with you?
Right. Makes sense.
That's, I don't speak to anybody I was out there with. I mean, besides a couple friends from high school who, before, everything happened in my life, I was still friends with. And I have a couple that are still supportive. But the majority of them, I don't really keep in touch no more.
I speak to maybe 2 people that I used to party with constantly that are still partying now. But they're struggling. They're trying it. They're trying to get clean.
And that's a big coping mechanism right there, bro, is having a support group and having other people.
It's
like
helpful.
Exactly, and that's what this is. People go through shit that you haven't been through yet, and you can talk to them, rely on them, and ask them how they got through it.
Right. Well, because the experience is the same.
Exactly.
So it does help you cope with things in a different. Like I said, just clearly thinking alone helps you cope with things, situations, and I mean, I know you as well. Yeah. We don't put ourselves in a situation where we have to deal with like a major decision.
Perfect example was Friday, bro. Did you see me Friday at the fire pit meeting?
We were at the meeting, yeah.
Dude, people were texting me like, "You good?" Because like I just had that look on my face, dude. I was just in my head. I was stuck.
Yeah,
in
you
my
actually
head.
just ran the fuck out as soon as it was over.
Yeah, I just didn't want to be bothered. I was stuck in my head, and it's it's other shit I'm dealing with, like work related stuff and stuff like that, but. Stuck in my head, and that's a bad place for me to be, So if I don't
happens to all of us, though.
Yeah, if I don't talk on that shit like that is what can build up, And eventually I got out of myself and spoke to a few people about it, and I didn't carry it on. Like another day's another day, but it's important.
Well, listen, it all helps. Again, it all happens to both everybody.
Yeah, it's normal. It happens to normal. It happens to everybody.
I had all week. I had a rough week. I had a rough day. Wednesday was the craziest day because I had a situation with doctors that things went the wrong way. Then I straightened it out, and then it didn't get straightened out. Then it did get straightened out, and then I have a couple of health issues that I need to take care of, which I have been, which I would never have done if I was not sober. And at the end of the day, I went to a group meeting, and then there's a new guy there that I don't get along with in recovery.
Yeah.
I just don't get along with. I'm like, fuck, this guy's in my group. This is a perfect ending to the shittiest fucking day, And I went back home. I got in bed. It was early, like 8:30, and I just was like, you know what? Go to sleep. Wake up tomorrow. Yeah. And start your life over again. And then, listen, there's going to be things every day. Like, again, I have interactions with people that aren't going my way. But if you can't fix those interactions, then I don't commit to them anymore.
Yeah.
I'm just like, you know what? If you're not seeing on my level or eye to eye with me, and you want to think whatever you think, then do it. That's on you.
Yeah.
Again, you can't control other people's actions. It's
no,
funny, people cast stones in glass houses, but it's like, wait a minute, what about what you're doing?
Yeah.
But I try not to point their faults out because now you're just being defensive.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
You can think it, but you want to do the right thing with your own mental state.
Yeah.
So like when and listen, you know me. There's times I go to meetings. I'm like, fuck this. I'm giving people a finger and shit. Like, because I'll look at, they said God, Charlie, everyone. Every time, just so you know, every time fucking the word, I shouldn't curse, but every time the word God comes out of someone's mouth at a meeting, at least 15 people turn around and look at me.
Because we all know it's coming.
Like, they said God.
Guys,
I'm like, coincidence.
You're going to start levitating.
Yeah, no, I'm saying it.
Guy might become a priest.
I did have a strange conversation with my daughter about it. I told you earlier. It was just weird.
It's coming.
I said, "You believe?" I asked my daughter if she believes in God, and she goes, "Of course." I go, in what sense? Well, it's my higher power. I'm like, wow. Okay, she's 12. That's good.
That's awesome.
And then I go, why doesn't your father believe in God? Because he's an atheist. Duh. I'm like, well, what makes you think I'm an atheist? Because you don't believe in God, Dad. Yeah. All right. But yeah, so you just, I go to my go-to things a lot.
Yeah.
Like if I'm having a bad day, I'll text my kids and be like, hey, what are you doing?
Yeah.
It's just refreshing to, all right, I'm talking to my daughter now. We're talking to my son. My son hit me up the other day and we were just bullshit.
Yeah.
So it just,
it takes you out of yourself.
You try to forget what's going on. And last week, you and I are both struggling with the same type of situation.
Yeah.
And last week, I'm like, what am I going to do? Sit here in my room and fucking...
can't.
Joe, what are you doing on board?
Yeah.
Go to the house. There's 10 guys there fucking bullshit. And it helps. It helps.
Yeah, it does. Well, that's why, like, this is a we program. Can't do it alone. Right. And when you are struggling in your own head, you help someone else.
Yeah,
you help somebody else.
Huge coping mechanism.
And that's a huge,
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you're being selfless, and it gets you out of yourself.
Yeah.
And then you actually feel good about yourself at the end of the day.
Well, do you?
I do. When I help somebody else in recovery, that's like such an amazing
But do you recognize, oh man, I feel good today because I helped so-and-so? Or is it just an automatic? To me, it feels like it's an automatic thing. I don't know if I actually sit down and think like, hey, I helped so-and-so
Well,
today.
no, it just proves to me because I'm not thinking in my own fucking head.
Trying to be selfless.
Yes. Yeah. And that shit helps, man.
I mean, yeah, I don't,
I still struggle with, like, staying in the present, dude. You know?
How so? What do you mean by that?
Just constantly projecting about future. You know, and we gotta live in today, and I got better, but lately I've been struggling with that a little bit. Like, just living in the moment. Constantly projecting on what the future's gonna be and the outcome of my future, and I have no control over that. I just gotta keep doing the next right thing for the day. And honestly, it all works out. It does. If you keep doing the right thing, it works out. But I'm my own worst enemy, and I like to overthink like a maniac.
Yeah, well...
And, yeah.
My biggest coping thing for...
What does Hawk say all the time? So, what the hell is that shit he says? You worry... Damn, bro, I can't think of it. It's like you suffer twice, worry... What is it? You know what I'm talking about.
One of those cliches.
It'll come up.
But I was with him a lot yesterday.
Yeah.
And then, weird too, because I left the second meeting, and then I texted him, I'm like, yo, give me something to read tonight. Yeah. And he made me read, of course, him. Yeah. Everything's strategic with him. Yeah. Oh, read this. And it was about spiritual awakening. Well, he knows every fucking page of his book. So it's like, really?
Yeah. I gotta call him.
Read 5 of it. He had me read a page. I'm like, does the book even go that far? What page was it? 567.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
Yeah.
567. Shit, I don't know if I have that same book. I don't know if it goes that far. But yeah, it's like towards the very end. But it was just a lot of cool experiences happened with me yesterday.
God shots.
Whatever you want to call it. But it actually, opened my... Because I was battling demons in my own head about personal shit. Mm-hmm. And then I'm like, what am I doing here? Like, stop. And then, John chaired a meeting yesterday. And then he's like, I got to go. I'm picking up Jack. Jack's speaking. Jack told the story again yesterday.
Okay.
Which was kind of like what he did with us on the show. Mm-hmm. And, it was a good experience. So it was good to hear him again reiterate how he got through his stuff. Because his coping skills seem to be on point. Because, again, he just lost his father. And he's pretty good with it.
Yeah.
Everyone does things in different ways and whatnot. But, yeah, I mean, Jack's thing and, obviously John just... I don't know. John just loves this fucking... just loves AA.
It gave him a whole life, bro. That's what we're all looking for. That's why I said, when I see him, it's not, like they say, bro, it's attraction, not promotion. And he's just happy, bro. He's genuinely, spiritually fit, and he's just genuinely happy.
He said to me yesterday, what brought you to me? I'm like, Joe.
Yeah.
He's like, no. I'm like, it was Joe. No, it was Joe. Joe kept saying, fucking talk to John. I'm like, I already talked to fucking John. Leave me alone. He's like, no, well, maybe what kept Joe doing that? Yeah. I get it. I understand the concept.
See, you don't see the change in it, but I do. From what you were to now, your mind is more open to the whole idea. And that's all it takes. Somebody planted a seed. And that seed is growing.
I'm open to anything.
And one day you're going to be like,
yeah, exactly. I'm going to move cars with the force. No, I just look at things that now, like, things do get better as time goes on.
They do.
If you cope with things the right way.
And it's okay to have a bad day in recovery.
I have plenty of those.
You know, as long as you don't pick up. Like, there's no good excuse to pick up. Like, I'm part of that no matter what club. No matter what, there is no fucking reason to drink or drug.
I'm definitely can attest to that as well. I feel the same way. Like, listen,
Jack
I was out of work.
Just a perfect example, bro, of what he's going through. Lost his father.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, yeah.
And it's because he surrounded himself in this program. He surrounded himself with... Dude, it's like we become family. You genuinely care about these people that you talk to and see every day. Like, we're not just friends going to a bar and having a drink. We're talking about our deepest, darkest shit together. You know how close that makes people?
What's weird, too, is that the core group of people that we do hang out with, no one's fell off. It's weird.
Huh.
Like, outsiders.
Yeah. It's gonna... And
we catch
and
it.
That's, yeah.
No, don't get me wrong. There's been meetings we went to, and those people fell off. But, like, our little core... Of what is it? 6 guys, maybe.
Yeah, because you're sticking with the ones who want it.
Everybody kind of. It's weird because you would think you'd lose one or something.
And
we lost. We were in CK Post. We lost a ton of those guys.
It's got to be when we went in there, bro. I think.
I don't know who's left besides us.
If there's maybe one person other than us that are sober, the odds are stacked against us. It's the nature of the beast, bro.
Well, first of all, when we were up there, let's call it spade a spade. When we were up there, half of those guys didn't want to be sober anyway.
And that's the thing. But listen, I didn't want to be fucking sober the first time I went away. I did it for work. I did it for family. I did it for,
Yeah.
I finally crossed that line to where I looked at myself like, I have a fucking problem. Like, until you can accept it. So, somebody told me the other day, they texted me and they go, is it normal for this kid to overdose again, like the 3rd time? And in like a week? I'm like, yeah. And if he doesn't get help, it's not going to end well.
I had a friend of mine that I work with.
The nature, bro. It's just, we don't know how to live, bro. That's what this whole program does. I don't know how to fucking live a normal life. I've just been numbing myself this whole time.
Yeah, well, that's, yeah.
So, like, life on life's terms. Life doesn't stop because we decided to get sober. Life continues. Life goes on. But now we've put ourselves in a situation where we are surrounded by other people, one who's got time now and who's been through shit ahead of us, right? And now we're going through our shit, and now we get to show the new people coming in, and that's the fellowship. We get to show the new people where we were. Right, ago, Right.
I always like when I'm at a meeting and there's a new comer when they raise
because it brings you back to where the fuck you were.
It
helps you not forget how fucking painful it is. Drugs and alcohol will always be there. Remember that FOMO, fear of missing out? Like, oh, you're telling me I can't drink at my daughter's wedding? First of all, I'm single. I'm not even with nobody, and I don't have kids. The fuck am I stressing that for?
Right.
You know what I mean? That's just like where our minds go. And by doing all the work, and I can honestly say I don't have any reservations. That's a good topic we should talk about. Reservations.
I have 2 basically teenage kids. I don't really give a shit if I drink it. Well, first of all, my daughter's never getting married. She's not allowed.
Okay. Fair enough. She's 12.
But I would never think, like, I can't have a drink at my son's wedding. What? I'd actually want clarity.
Well, here's the thing. Why did we always used to think that drink was so fucking important?
I don't know. I remember my own wedding.
Yeah.
I was asked, please do not drink at the wedding. Yeah. I'll tell you, I was told, I will tell you when you could have a drink.
Yeah.
And I remember sitting at the dais.
Sneaking around?
The whole time.
Oh, you remember?
I remember sitting at the dais, like looking at her, cutting the cake, looking at her.
Can I have it now?
Then all of a sudden it was like, okay, you could have a drink. Yeah. And I made up for the 3 hours. Of course. I made up for the 3 hours that I wasn't drinking.
You got to catch up.
And I said to the bartender, I'm the groom. Fucking, where's my bottle? Get it over here. Yeah. So, it was like weird, but it was like you waiting for that fucking gun to go off to start the race.
Yeah.
But and I do remember that, but that's not a thing. Like, again, coping with thoughts is huge. And again, I don't do it all the time because there are times I will say something. And you know what it is too? I feel like regret sometimes.
Of course.
If I let something go, I'm like, fuck. Meanwhile, in the past, I would just laugh. Like, fuck them, I got them.
Yeah.
Now it's like I say something like, shit, maybe I shouldn't have said that. I'll still giggle a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I'm still a fucking
you're changing,
devil.
Bro, your motives are changing.
But it's
outlook on life is changing.
Yeah. I mean, this whole week I'm looking for a job, and I'm like, you know what? It'll happen. It'll happen. Don't worry about it. And what's weird is I get a job, and then all of a sudden I get 5 people calling me for interviews. On top of it, I'm like, wow, this sucks. But whatever. I'm going to take the best one and move forward with it. That's all. But it's like,
let me ask you something. Where you're at right now, you're content with where you are in your recovery?
I'm honestly, I would like life to move a little quicker.
Mm-hmm. I get that.
To the point where I'm a little more comfortable. Mm-hmm. I still have parts that I would like to see change a little bit.
Yeah.
But am I content? Yeah. I mean, I'm not, I'm single, so you want to seek companionship, but if it's not what you need, if it's not going to work, just don't do it. You know what I mean? But if it's going to work, if it's going to be a good thing for you, then sure. If it fits in your lifestyle, is what my point is.
Okay. See what you did there.
I don't know what you think I did, but if that works for you, I don't know if that helps you cope, Joseph. I don't know.
It's a coping.
Wow, did I? Well, I didn't mean it that way, but I guess that's anyway. Let's. So that's one thing, or work, or financially. Am I where I want to be? No, but all those things.
Well, that's
build your foundation.
That's one of our promises, right? Fear of economic insecurities will leave us. Because I still struggle with that too. I'm like, I want everything now,
Right.
Like,
and everybody says things will come. Don't worry about it. Just stay sober. Stay sober. My brother just texted me. I'm not gonna
lie, bro. It's hard to see, and it's like, I don't get why.
I mean, you see it too. Like certain people
right there.
Act a different way. Like it's kind of sad sometimes because in recovery, some people do things that they should not be doing.
Well, yeah, we're human.
We all do. I'm not saying we, as in you and I.
No, but me too, bro.
But you see it in other people, like
Yeah.
What someone said. Some of these guys. Again, I'm not. This has nothing to do with anybody. But someone made a statement. Some of these guys shake the whore tree looking for an angel to fall out. And I'm like, wow, all right,
damn.
Whatever. So people, and then that's someone that's still sick.
Yeah.
Because they're not thinking rationally and they're not coping with their emotions the right way. I used to feel like I was that way. I was with someone my entire life since I'm a fucking little kid.
Yeah.
And I've spent the last 2 years basically, I dated 1 or 2 people for a short stint. But I actually like not, if you're not going to fit in my lifestyle, I'm not doing it. Yeah. Like, I just don't care.
Well,
But I used to. That used to be a big thing for me.
It's important. Not a lot of people. I don't want to say not a lot, but it is. It's a thing, dating somebody in recovery.
Well, yeah. I mean, you're not supposed to.
No,
it depends. Like I said,
even like normal people dating people in recovery. It is.
Yeah, that's sometimes it's wearing. Well, the understandability is not there, like to that person that's not in recovery. The understanding someone in recovery is not there for that person. Again, we can go back to when you have a family member. Oh, Joey went away for 28 days. He's cured.
Yeah. Well,
no, people don't.
I know.
Some people don't understand that.
No, that's the normal. That's the normies. But if you've been around it, you understand. Like when I first came home from rehab.
Well, I'm on it. I tell everyone.
When they first came home, they had banners out. They're like, "He's cured. He's healed." Like, we got a few more years.
Like, does any of these cards have money in it?
No, just gift cards for you, sir.
Exactly. Oh, you're hungry? I'll have fucking pea pods to your house. I used to get that shit.
That's the worst.
Yeah. No, I mean, I get it. Like I said, it's certain just gotta. Things will fall into place. That's the way I look at it now. Like
everything works out the way it's supposed to, as long as you stay sober.
If you keep running like a lunatic, first of all, you surround yourself with people that are not right either. So now your whole coping of life is completely different because you're dealing with. I'm saying.
Well, you can be in recovery and still hang out with the wrong fucking people.
No. What I'm saying is, if you decide not to stay sober and hang out with a group of people that aren't sober, like my old friends.
Yeah.
You start thinking like them again.
Oh, yeah.
And your brain
No, I get it.
Now you cope in a different way. Like, oh, well, let me have a drink before I go do this. Or let me...
I can have one.
You don't think that anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You just don't... I know where I am in life.
Well, that's why it's so important to remain in the program. If you remain in the program, you have the tools you need. You can go anywhere. You can do anything.
Yeah.
You know, but I feel like when you step away, because it's happened for me, I stepped away and recovery all of a sudden as time goes on doesn't seem as important.
It's not in the forefront. So
it doesn't seem as important. My mind starts playing tricks on me. You could have one, bro. It'll be different.
Yeah, you did it for so long.
You did it for so long. Look at you. You deserve this.
You could have a drink, man. It's your fucking reward for not drinking.
And then you're like, fucking motherfucker. What?
And then I chip a tooth on a bottle.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh shit, I'm back where I started. Yeah, I mean, it just... And then also, too, what else helps cope, and maybe you're not supposed to do that, but the disappointment to other people, to me.
What do you mean?
Like, what makes me continue thinking in the right direction is I don't want to disappoint my kids, my family, my friends.
What about yourself?
I'm not going to disappoint myself because I know I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
But you always have that thought process in your head that, hey, let me not... My God, like even... My daughter said to me in these texts that, how's everything going? Good. I'm so happy. You sound great. That type of stuff. Like it's just a good thing when you have reassurance from the outside because that is a big coping mechanism too. Helps you make the right decisions from each day. Like I wake up every morning. I'm not miserable. First of all, I'm clear-headed now.
Yeah. Not
miserable. I'm not tired. I'm not, some days you can't sleep because you let shit get in your head and you can't think it out. So it's not easy for a lot of people. And then there's people that aren't dealing with just their addiction. They have other problems.
Mental illness.
Right. And it's, I'm a part of a lot of, obviously you are too. We know that. But besides, thanks for sharing, I'm part of a lot of sobriety groups.
Yeah.
I do that because and these are people I don't even know. There's thousands of people in some of these groups. And you see people like, I have, 180 days. Mm-hmm. And today, I don't know why I feel like having a drink today. I feel like shit.
Yeah.
I don't want to be here anymore. And they'll post that on Facebook, which I think is crazy.
Yeah, but they're in the group, so it's private.
Right.
Yeah.
But then people comment.
Well, that's them seeking out help, That's good.
Right. Reaching out. So maybe they don't have a sponsor. Maybe they don't have a group. These are all over the country.
Yeah.
We're lucky enough here. We're lucky enough here in Long Island. Like a fucking group. There's one a mile away.
Oh, yeah.
And at the same time. Or an hour later. But there are people, in the middle of Ohio.
Mm. Well, that's good, too. I don't listen. A meeting, an in-person meeting, there's nothing like it. You need that. We're humans. We need that connection. But if worse came to worse, now we have Zoom.
Yeah, I mean,
you can get on there. I've seen people get on there and say they're struggling, and they give, you need numbers. Boom, you got 20, 30 numbers, somebody you can call.
I mean, I'm not a major advocate of AA, but I will say this. I've never left an AA meeting wanting to have a drink, ever.
Agreed.
So, I mean, most of the time with these people, I'll just why are you home? Go to a meeting.
Yeah. You know
what I mean? Get out. Put a meeting on. Yeah. Put it on your fucking iPad. Do something. Mm-hmm. But, that's someone that's having trouble coping with their situation. Mm-hmm. And it's I have a Facebook friend he's struggling with. He's not an addict, as far as I know, I should say. He's struggling with a parent situation where he's my age, but he just reconnected with his mom, and his mom doesn't want to deal with him.
Yeah.
And it's tearing me up inside. I'm like,
yeah.
oh, man, you clean your. I'm gonna say this.
Clean your
side of the street, bro. There's nothing you can do. You can't. Again, coping. You can't predict the actions of others.
No.
But if you keep doing the right thing, my mother had this situation with her own mother.
Yeah.
Just keep contacting her. Sooner or later. I mean, it was a short-lived thing. It was a small little thing. It wasn't a big deal. But my mom was like, "Why does my mother want to get in touch with me? One day she's not going to be here." I'm like, just keep trying to contact her.
Yeah.
If she doesn't contact you, it's on her, not you. You can't control the actions of others.
Yeah.
And what happens after a while, those people come to their premonition and realize, oh shit, maybe I am doing the wrong thing.
Yeah.
And maybe they don't. Maybe they don't. But
well, I think that's what also too is the work, like the step work. Even though you build a resentment list towards people, and you have like who you think harmed you, and when you go through it, you realize your part in all of it and how you played a role,
right?
And how you were, recovery makes you hold yourself accountable.
Yes.
And I do I can honestly say today I do. I don't play victim. I'm responsible for my thoughts, my actions. I'm responsible for myself and how I treat others. Because for so long we fucking pointed the finger. It was this one. It was that one. It was my boss. It was him. It was him.
Why the fuck did he do that?
Yeah.
I wouldn't do this if he was...
And today, my thinking's changed. I see how I played a part and how I could have done it better. And that's growth. It shows me that's growth.
The two biggest things is that and maturity.
Yeah.
For some reason, I don't know why addicts were all fucking children.
Yeah.
In our heads.
Well, like I said, that stems down to not knowing how to live. I mean, it's like I don't know how to live without a drink or a drug for so fucking long. Now you're trying to build a life for yourself, and it can be hard. Recovery is not easy. We go through shit, but the most important thing is that we go through it sober.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree.
And it's what makes you stronger. I can honestly see the light at the end of the tunnel these days.
And if you, like I said, if you have something in your head, the best thing to do is reach out to somebody.
Somebody.
If you don't do the sponsor thing, that's fine. Call someone else in recovery. I know that everybody that goes to at least one meeting gets a fucking list of phone numbers. Mm-hmm. I still have my list of phone numbers from my first meeting way back when.
Yeah.
And it's tacked to a board.
You know what?
In my
recovery
room.
Changed for me too. I used to hate picking up numbers I didn't know. And now because of those lists, I'm like, it could be somebody who needs help.
Yeah. Oh, I put my number on every...
Yeah, of course.
On every piece of paper that comes past me. If there's something that there was one gentleman at our meeting that called all of us.
Yeah. Just
to touch base with every single person.
Yeah.
And if he didn't get you, he left you a message. And I called the guy back, and he's like, "Thank you for calling me back. I just want to see." Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to see. I like this meeting, and all you guys are cool. I just want to touch base with every single one of you. I haven't spoken to him since.
Yeah.
But I had a great conversation.
He was that Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see him. I'm saying I haven't spoken to him on the phone. But maybe he needed that nudge, and he was sober 24 years or something.
Years, yeah.
And he went back. For, tragedy struck, and he couldn't handle it. No coping skills, I guess.
Yeah.
He let AA get away from him, and that's what happened.
Yeah.
But it happens to everybody. So it just it's a good thing. This is
a good topic.
It's a learning curve in life, and you got to really be able to deal with your situations in the right way. Instead of wrong. That's the way I look at it anyway.
Huh?
But all right, cool. So we're gonna wrap up.
Announcements now.
I got nothing. I think the only two things we have: the one in August and the one in October, right? And then that's it. We already discussed that. If you have any questions, concerns,
thanks for sharing. Emails. Facebook group.
Yeah,
subscribe to Charlie and Joey Share on YouTube. I gotta figure out how to get that going.
And then we'll catch you guys again next week. All right. Have a good one.
Have a great day, everyone.
Bye.